It's been 4 days. Haven't been out here in the daytime in 4 whole days. I worked 4 days in a row, and part of the reason why I have this channel is so that I keep up on my cleaning and my weeding and I don't make my garden look like a mess. And so far I'm not keeping my goals. I figured if I had to post my garden on YouTube, I would make sure it looked tidy and weed free and everything was in its place. And so far that's not the case. But I'm not working today, and I'm gonna have a big job of cleaning up to do. So in the past 4 days we've had a beautiful 90-degree day or 88-degree day. A lot of things have popped. My broccoli rabe went to flower. That was not the plan, but I think I could still harvest that today. But look at how beautiful, and the little hoverflies love them. The chives also started to flower, and I have one tiny little flower. You see it? It's sugar magnolia. One tiny little flower so far. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come. And my greens, this is my arugula. It is definitely coming up. Look at that color on the cabbage leaves next to the green. Isn't that beautiful? All right, some things make me very happy. But I have a lot to do today. I will show you what I'm going to be getting done. I'm going to be harvesting a little bit. Harvesting some kale, maybe a little baby pak choi leaves. Look at how pretty the pak choi looks now that it's finally coming up. This broccoli rabe right here actually was self-sown from seeds last year, and this one did not flower yet, but I will harvest that one. So I have kale here along with some spinach. My garlic is definitely popping. That won't be pulled up. More garlic here. That won't be pulled up until July, I think. Last year I definitely pulled it a couple of weeks early, and my bulbs weren't as big as I would have liked. So this year I want to make sure I wait. And then I'll have to put something in its place. I have more peas here, but no flowers on them yet. And then I have some tomatoes. I don't see any fruit yet. Oh, we'll see. You know, it's just a waiting game at this point to be able to harvest. But for today, I can harvest some greens. See my part of my mess? If I'm going to be honest, this is part of my mess. So my planting trays, I want to wash these out and store them, because most of them I'm not going to need again until later in the summertime, and it's just an eyesore. Chamomile going to seed next to my onions. These are the only chamomile that I'm going to let go into flower, I should say, that I'm going to let grow. All the other ones I'm going to pull. More than enough chamomile, and I'm definitely not going to let them go to flower and seed, so I don't have the same problem next year. More peas, not flowering yet. I should have some peas for my greens. Look at these tomatillos. That just makes me want to cry. I love the flowers, but the leaves are like Swiss cheese. Those little beetles. I'm going to keep an eye on those. So I have more peas here, and of course I have some more chamomile because it's coming up everywhere. There's an onion. Here's some more tomatoes. These are the first tomatoes that I planted under row cover, and they are looking pretty good, and I don't know who they are. This one is a black cherry. I have a lot of weeding to do, and I have some beets here. This little one in the corner is a dwarf. I think it's a katydid, but you know what? It's hard to say. So self-sown cilantro, and I have some kale, and it looks like some cabbage, my peppers, my pepper plants, which are really not doing anything, and another broccoli rabe, which the wind blew over. So I have carrots here along with radishes, and this is what it looks like. I don't know, it could be anything. It could be cauliflower. I did plant a couple of cauliflower, and it could be a regular broccoli. So we have, nope, no radishes to pick on this side. I have radishes to pick on the other side. My tomatoes that I did not label. I could tell the difference between the tomatoes that are dwarf and the tomatoes that are indeterminate, just because the dwarf ones are so thick. But other than that, I only have a handful that I was able to figure out what they were. My little cocoons for my praying mantis. So they're going to start hatching in the summertime, and then I will separate them. Let me take a better look. I don't want any pets to eat them. I read that rats eat the little cocoons for them, so I put them in there. Here's my mint. That looks pretty. That looks very pretty. And here I have my celery. I have red celery from Baker Creek, and I have Tanger, another green celery. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. And I planted some sweet potatoes, actually. A couple of slips in this bed. Right there. See it? This is my frostbitten Galena cherry tomato, which is still hanging in there. Actually, the leaves on top, they don't look so bad, but I'm still watching to see if I need to pull it. So I have some more radishes in here. It looks like a little flea beetle action going on. I have more peas, a little tomato in there, and I have some sweet peas here, lots of sweet peas. I bought this soil a while back, soil builder, which I really do enjoy. I like it. I've had great results with it. So I'm going to put that on the top of my garden, but I want to pull up all the weeds first. So my onions here are starting to flower. They pollinators love them, so a lot of them I do let continue. And more broccoli rabe. 4 days is obviously too long to let these guys go ignored, especially when you have an 88-degree day here, I guess. This is a fig tree, and it is coming back to life. This is pretty much what happens every year. I cover it, and then it dies down, and then it starts regrowing again. Experimenting with corn. I'm not sure if I want to keep it. I never had any really good results with corn, but here's my asparagus. Isn't this the weirdest thing? Right? 4 days. Look at how this asparagus is growing. Oh, that could be a virus. Who knows? 4 days ago it looked like this, so I didn't pick it, and now this is what it looks like. So I'm definitely picking it today. The top is weird. It's just weird. So that one I knew was there. It's too skinny to pick, so I left it. And then I have a couple of more coming up. And I have my zinnias, which are being overridden by flea beetles and bugs and are not happy, but I'm going to fix them. And then in this bed I have my leeks with a couple of brassicas. I'm not sure what it is. It could be cabbage, it could be broccoli. I thought it was broccoli, but I don't see any heads on it, so we'll have to see how it comes up. Self-sown pak choy, self-sown cilantro, and some more leeks, and the leeks are actually going to flower, so I might pull those scapes, if you call them scapes. See them? Right there, that little flower. I might pull that and just saute it with some kale. I have enough kale today to harvest to saute it, but I might just put it in a salad. And again, see my mess? Oh my goodness. Can't you clean up after yourself, little lady? But it looks like it's popping. It looks like it's popping. Everything's coming up so far. So little green things to harvest, and I'm going to show you my radish next. So this is that bed that I had, the highest one. It's about a foot off the ground, and you can see the hoverflies, which are great pollinators. They don't bother me at all. Look at in there, those little radishes. I think those are time to be picked. I'm not even 100% sure of the variety, but this is a big one. It, probably even very woody at this point, because I don't think they're supposed to be that big, but that's a good size radish. So these I'm going to harvest. It'll give the carrots, the little bit of carrots that I have here, a little bit of extra room. And I planted a couple of sweet potato slips here, so that's really where I had them last year. But there's a couple more radishes that need to be picked. I like my radish salad. Some of them, when they're close together, they're just not as big. But if I pull one out, maybe the other ones will grow. This is another good size one. Radish is one of those things that if you try them in the supermarket, they're probably not going to taste that good. But fresh out of the garden, oh my goodness, they are so yummy. In this corner, I have turnips. You see them? Now these are the ones that I actually started inside, and I replanted them out. And they look pretty good. Now the turnips, you can actually saute the greens as well as eat the turnips. But they're coming along. I am not a turnip green kind of gal, but I think I should start eating them. This is my broccoli rabe again. These guys just went crazy. 4 days and they went ballistic. And here's these cabbage leaves. Oh my gosh, look at the beautiful colors. So, my cabbage, who's gonna bother my cabbage? Cabbage butterflies? Oh, those white butterflies, they tend to lay their eggs. And then before you know it, you have holes in the leaves and the whole thing is shot. Because the little worms, they hide in the leaves. Slugs also are a problem. These are chives. Look at how pretty. I've been finding these all over the place. The squirrel has planted a forest in my garden and my yard. Little acorns everywhere. So I will be pulling these up, and I have been pulling them up from every bed, from every corner of the yard. I guess they can't remember where they put their stuff. Like me, can't remember where I put my stuff. Well, this is my only squash so far that I have in the garden. So right now I'm looking for vine borer eggs. They look red, tiny red dots that are really hard to spot. You have to look for them. And towards the end of the season for vine borers, they will be all along the leaves and the stems, not just at the base where you'll find them initially. They will put their eggs anywhere. But if you pick them off before they hatch, then you're ahead of the game. I don't like to spray my plants, so I end up searching for the eggs. And occasionally, I miss a few. And you can tell that the vine borer is there because they leave like holes in the stalk, and you can see their excrement coming out of the hole. Or you could just see that the plant has completely wilted down. So I haven't seen any flying around yet. They look like bees or wasps, not moths when they fly. They are so fast, but they wreak havoc on all of my squash. And that's one thing I haven't really put out yet, is my squash. So this is my rhubarb. You're supposed to cut these flower stalks down, but a couple of years ago they went to flower and I had potato beetles or cucumber beetles. I think they were striped cucumber beetles all over the flowers, and I was able to just dunk them in water and get rid of them. So I'll probably cut the stalks down today. They take away from the leaves. All of the energy for the plant is going into the stalks instead of the leaves. So we'll cut those back, and then as the season continues, I'll be able to harvest some of the regular stalks. They'll get large and red and be really good for cooking and baking. So this is my tea garden. I planted a bunch of things in here. Some of them are coming up and some of them are not really doing so well. This is one of the first things I planted. Not doing too well at all. I'm pretty sure this was one of the zinnias. So I have calendula. I have, look at that. That's the problem right there. You see that leaf? A mosquito, and I'm going to smush them, and aphids. So these guys are really just being destroyed. You can see them on there, the little bugs, and these zinnias are being destroyed, so I'm going to have to spray. I'm not going to spray during the day. I'll spray when the sun goes down, some pyrethrin, which is organic, but it is one of those things that is poison for pollinators. And I don't like to spray anything, but at this point I have a horrible problem with aphids and flea beetles, and I just can't get ahead of them. I tried the neem oil. I tried soap and water. So when the sun goes down tonight, hopefully it won't be very windy, and I'm going to spray the pyrethrin. It is short acting. It doesn't last for a long time, and hopefully I can get a grip on all these insects that are eating my stuff. Here's a flea beetle right here. See him on the package of radishes? Crawling. And they jump. Get some more. Let's see if you can see them. Right there. And they jump, and then they're gone. Very hard to catch. So I'm gonna try and get them tonight. Craziness. I hate spraying. I really, it's one of those things that you think about, and it would be so much easier just to use chemicals, but it's really just not what I want for my family, not what I want for my garden. But I think if I start now and get them knocked down before they actually start breeding, then it'll save me in the long run. You can see the damage underneath in this leaf right here. This is a pea. It's one of my snap peas. This should be really tall by now, but it's just not. You can tell they're being, look at the leaf. It's like Swiss cheese. So, and now, the other day last night when I got home from work, I saw those cucumber beetles, the striped cucumber beetles. Oh my God, they just don't make me happy. The problem with the pyrethrin is they kill good bugs also. So I'm still debating, but I'm pretty positive. I'm just gonna do it. It's early in the season, get it done. We'll do it at nighttime and it'll dissipate, and by tomorrow morning when the pollinators come out, I will start new. Okay, remember last night when I was getting all my cucumber beetles off my plants? Look, in the daytime, here is one that I missed. So I'm not sure if these guys are all coming up from the ground, but they are fast and they are mean and they are making Swiss cheese out of my plants. And I'm gonna try and get this guy before he flies away. Yep, I gotcha. Okay, coming back to these guys again, and it looks like I'm gonna have to do this every couple of hours. Now, can you see them? Can you see him in there? Look at that guy, right in there. You see him. I know you see him, but it's like they're doing their job. This is all they do. They come in and they some more. Look at that. I was just here and there was nothing here. So these guys are just going crazy. It must be sending off some sort of signal, and I'm gonna get them. Ah, no, I didn't get them. This is the potato bed that I planted. It looks like there's some sort of squash that self-seeded itself from the compost I used. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to keep them in or not. We'll have to see. But some of the potatoes have sprouted. You could tell by the leaves. So I'll have to hill them up. And these are definitely squash. Maybe pumpkins. There's more potatoes starting to come up. Took all the seeds out. These are the onions. So far they're doing okay. So I'm going to do a little bit of fertilizing because I know onions are heavy feeders, and so is asparagus. Now this bed looks much better, and quite a few of those polynose seeds or kamikaze seeds or whatever they were had sprouted, and I had to pull them up. So I don't know if there's much left on the trees, but these are going to get a little bit of fertilization and a little water tonight. Looking good. Now it's just outside of the beds I have to worry about, because that looks terrible. So I'm going to, those are the blueberries, I left them there. I'm going to mulch around them and put some weed suppressant down around them to keep the grasses down so it doesn't look so yucky. And then maybe gate the area a little bit. I can't get the lawnmower in there, so I definitely don't want the grasses to grow. It just looks awful. What a mess, right? There's my wheelbarrow and my cart that I've been using. Yeah, some of the blueberries are coming in, so I'll have to nut those beforehand. And there. That plant had a lot of flowers on it, so maybe this year I'll actually get some berries that the birds don't eat.